Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Sometimes a picture is worth 1,000, 100,000 words. It says all you want to say and more. I think this image encapsulates life in Zimbabwe. The tragedy about our situation in Zimbabwe is that the overwhelming majority of us out there have been as helpless as a baby. "46 years after independence, we are still as helpless as a baby. Tragic. There is absolutely no excuse for it. Man is supposed to be a creature of reason. And yet, it appears many of us have struggled to admit to ourselves that our political system has failed the nation. Millions of ordinary Zimbabweans are living in abject poverty, with no hope for the future. And yet, for 46 years now and counting, we have done nothing to alleviate our own suffering. We're just as helpless as a child being beaten by ants. Can't even think of brushing them off. Man is supposed to be a creature of reason, I repeat. We are supposed to have our eyes open and our minds open and be able to see that this situation is not working. Why is it that a country with so much wealth, so much potential, only a few are benefiting at the expense of the overwhelming majority? We want a better Zimbabwe. We have to fight for it. Yes, we have had the misfortune of having leaders whom we believed and trusted to deliver freedom, justice, and human dignity for all at the end of our fight for independence. They did not. What is so difficult about accepting that simple reality that Zanu PF thugs have turned out to be the last thing we expected them to be. Instead of becoming our liberators, they've become our new oppressors. That is a historic fact. When you look at some of the things that Zanu PF thugs have done, you say to yourself, this is not rocket science. Anyone should be able to see that this is not right. One of the things that Margaret Dongo, herself a freedom fighter, and then became an independent MP, said was that Zanu PF thugs are deliberately keeping the overwhelming majority of ordinary Zimbabweans in poverty for their own selfish political gains. That is true. Before independence, John Robertson, an economist of renown, told Ian Smith that if he gave the blacks in the rural areas title deeds to even a few acres of land on which their mud hut is built, they will build for themselves a better structure. Because now, even the bank have the confidence of giving them loan. And they will have the confidence of building a better structure, house for themselves, improve the piece of land in terms of planting fruit trees, digging wells, investing a lot of time and energy into improving their living environment. John Robertson told Ian Smith that that will improve the economy. Ian Smith rejected the idea purely for selfish political reasons. He argued that giving the blacks economic empowerment would only lead to the next logical thing, where they would be demanding political empowerment. Ian Smith was not ready to give blacks the vote. So he said no. The same plan was given to Robert Mugabe after independence, and he rejected it for the same reason, for the same selfish political reasons. 46 years after independence, our people, many of our people, are still living in mud huts in this day and age. And all because it saves Zanu PF selfish political gains. Here is Margaret Dongo speaking on that subject.
They have wrong priorities, especially the current government. How can you go and build an airport which services a few people, and the majority are the elite and the so-called investors? Look at the rural. I made you come to interview me because I wanted you to have the experience of the roads that we are using. If we go today to our hospital there, you feel pity with that's a hospital in a rural area. If we go to our clinic, you feel pity. We have no piped water here. Do you know the reason why the rural people vote for Zanu PF? One, they're intimidated. Two, the policy is that the rural people should remain poor and subservient to the government. They should remain poor, because if they remain poor, they continue singing the song for their master. This is why these people have been impoverished. It's for a reason. Because at the moment, if you economic empower these people, they'll go out of hand. Zanu PF will never have control over them.
The interesting thing is why Zimbabweans themselves fail to stand up and demand title deeds to the land. They haven't. 46 years after independence, we have never been masters of our own destiny, beyond what fate threw at us in the form of the corrupt, incompetent, and murderous Zanu PF thugs, complete with their equally corrupt, incompetent, and utterly useless MDC CCC sellouts. We have never been masters of our own destiny. Sad. Here is Morgan Freeman reciting a poem that the late Matimba, Nelson Mandela, loved, underlying this very theme of being masters of our own destiny.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That poem was his favorite poem. And as he explains to Pinar one time, when he lost courage, when he felt like just giving up, just lie down and not get up again, he would recite it. And it would give him what he needed to keep going.
Can you recite it? If you can't, there are some words.
Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole. I learned it when I was in school.
Yeah. Did you really?
Yeah. I think whatever God there may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of fate, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the shadow of the shade. Yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me, unafraid.
God.
Matters not how straight the gate, how punishment charged the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
This is a magical moment in the history of this show to hear you do that.
Wow. Thank you.
And he had it, and he memorized it, and it was his anchor.
Yeah, yeah.
When the winds were at their worst.
Yeah.
It is tragic that we did not have the fortune of having such visionary leaders. But that was the reality. There is absolutely no excuse why in 46 years we have failed to stand up and say, what is happening in Zimbabwe is not right. Let's change it. There's absolutely no excuse. 46 years is a long time. And these Zanu PF thugs, there is nothing special to them. And yet, they've managed to stay in power, riding roughshod over the nation, causing untold misery and suffering and death. And yet, we've continued to remain as helpless as a baby. That speaks volumes about us. Think about it. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.